Hello, League of Doom. You may be wondering, what is Turner doing here? He doesn't even have a team. Well, I'm gunning for one. This week, I'm going to fill in for low man Wesley Kenny, Señor Penn, whose team played like absolute garbage. Let's go ahead and get started here. Prepare for a little bit of a chug. I'm going to need this whole Corona to even talk about Señor Penn's team because they played like a dumpster fire. All right, let's dive in. We'll save the best for last, starting with Prince Twaxbane versus Team Hood. ZJ came out on top, riding the Aaron stack with Aaron Jones and Aaron Rodgers for a pretty big output. Meanwhile, Travis, on the other hand, got some minimal effort from a New York Giants led team. Not surprising. Mistake number one, trusting in anything Eli Manning. Jameis Wiener versus Biscotti. This one wasn't even close. Never helps to see Dalvin Cook put up negative points, but the real issue here was Carson Wentz stinking up the field while Drew Brees and Tyreek Hill had 67 points combined. Mm, hate to see that one. Very tough indeed. Next on the docket, Peterson versus Pup and Suds. This was another blowout. Pup and Suds put up a pretty good effort, but Hooper, Hines, and Zona D put up 10 combined points. Yikes. Uh, that really effed Andrew in the A. Meanwhile, Goff and Ingram led the Petersons to a Michael Vick-esque dog slamming, just smashing Pup and Suds all over the place. Even Doug Baldwin, who came in questionable, got above 10 points. Greg Olson with a nice 6.9 points out there versus Hooper's 2.7. Next on the list, we got Hans Rambe versus Schwagmeister Flex. And golly, you really hate to see the defense and kickers make the difference, but a combined 1 point between Harrison Butker and Tennessee D. Ooh, tough starting Tennessee against Andrew Luck. Had 1 point. Meanwhile, 32.5 points coming from Houston and the leg legend, Matt Bryan. Hans Harambe with a big win after being behind this video camera several times this season. Schwag, this might have been the nail in the coffin for your season and your dumpster fire of a team in dead last place out of 14. I'd say that next season was looking a lot better, but your pretty epic trade rape of Feek got vetoed, so you may be fucked for a long time. Moving on, let's look at Just the Tip versus Calamity Coleman. Okay, pretty high scoring affair here. A couple of bottom place teams, so that's surprising. Just the Tip almost made a epic Monday night comeback, but I think Gurley rolled his ankle pretty early in the game and putting up under 10 points compared to the 42 from Patrick Mahomes came up just short. Would have loved to see that Monday night comeback. Meanwhile, Allen Robinson and Tariq Cohen for Calamity Coleman were outscored by their defense. They say defense wins championships, but I don't think Warren's going to be smelling a playoff spot this year. Looking rough, but looks like you might have a good keeper or so for next year. Who knows? And hey, I like to see See some decent scores down here. OJ Howard, that could be a keeper. Moving on, let's look at Lore of the North versus Go Feek Yourself. I already like what I see, some good juju on Lore of the North squad. And unfortunately, James Conner starting to look a little bit tired out there. And when your quarterback gets benched, you know you're going to have a bad time. The Fitz magic may be over. Jameis is starting this weekend, so we'll see what happens there. And gosh, go feek yourself. Your championship dreams for this season are starting to look a little bit rough. Fitzmagic is benched. James Conner maybe a little tired. He's never had this kind of workload. And Trey Burton has looked pretty pedestrian as of late. We got the first place lore continues to roll. He's got Juju and Ben and a nice QB wide receiver stack. The meaty legs of Saquon Barkley, who's been running like Le'Veon Bell combined with Jerome Bettis. It's going to be a formidable team. Probably time to drop Funchess, my friend. He is not very good. Having drafted myself, I'm aware of this. Yikes, Pittsburgh, and okay, we got some good defensive output here for Lore of the North as well. Gosh, Eric Ebron, after a 3 touchdown week, puts up a goose egg. Luckily, that was only zero point 0.9 points less than Trey Burton on the other side. Funchess not overmatched by Dion Lewis this week. Looks like the real difference came down to Saquon and Ben Roethlisberger over their counterparts, James Conner and Fitzpatrick, on the go feek yourself side. And the best for last, the low scoring Señor Penn, who was so embarrassed by his own performance of 80.5 points that he refused to do a video, and I had to step in and make this right. If I couldn't watch the video, which I've enjoyed the past few weeks of, then I will record the video. And Charles, 9th place versus the 2nd place Wesley. You did not expect this. Going in, Senor Penn was expected to win. Vegas line in his favor by 3 points. And what on earth happened? Guess Penn never had a chance when ooh, grand total of 5 points across his kicker, flex, tight end, RB2, and wide receiver 2 combined. Got Alshon Jeffrey putting up 3.3, Wendell Smallwood and Ben Watson with zeros, Dante Moncrief with 1.1. Oh, Elliott from Philadelphia with 1 point. I guess that was the one extra point from that garbage fire performance. And Seattle with 5 points. When the shining spot of your entire team is your individual performer on defense, go dogs, Alec Ogletree, you're going to have a bad time. Meanwhile, on the other side, that performance on the individual D player was matched. J.J. Watt with a couple of forced fumbles, 2 sacks, 6 solo tackles, putting up 18 as well. And then Cam Newton, Odell Beckham, and Marlon Mack all having plus performances. Honestly, Charles didn't even need to score that many points. I mean, the extra defensive player putting up 80 seems pretty pedestrian. I mean, he had 1.5 from Zach Ertz, zero point 0.5 from Ty Montgomery. Boswell, he had 2 points to the one kicker point for Wesley. I mean, this was a cakewalk for Charles. He gets to boost up out of 9th place, hopefully. Maybe in the running for a playoff spot now. Penn, 9-2, probably has some time to get his shit together before the playoffs. But if performances like this keep getting rolled out, he might not make it. All right, guys, this has been a true pleasure, and by that I mean it was awful to have to represent Wesley, who in cowardice was unable to come to Señor Penn's responsibilities on doing this video. Everyone, have a lovely Thanksgiving, except for you, Wesley. I hope you choke on some dark meat from your turkey and are ripped of your team, which I would happily take and probably keep Kamara. Everyone, thank you so much. Enjoy your turkey.